Reality check, man. Reality check. Check in, check in, check in. You know, man. It's a revolutionist. Anyway, today I want to take a look into this word. Experience. And what is experience? If I should ask, you know? Yeah, man. So experience, you know, is about gain knowledge through direct observation or participation. See, gaining knowledge through direct observation or participation. See, you see, we have the practical and we have the theory. And the theory, we go through the book and the lecturing and all of that. And the practical, we have to go out there, go run up and down and do the physical. Use up the knife, use up the hammer, use up the saw. You see what I mean? So, that's experience, man. And the nurse, she's been doing her job for the past 10 years. She got an experience in her nursing field. The teacher, she's been teaching for the past 5 years. She got the experience in the teacher field. The carpenter, been doing carpenter almost all his life. He got all that experience. The mason, name it. Whatever you do for a long period of time, you gain experience along the way. Yeah, experience. You have to do it to gain it. You know what I mean? So, for instance, so you don't have no degree, seeing you don't have no subject, you don't have no masterate, and you don't have no doctorate. So all you have to focus on is the experience that you gain along the way. So for instance, you gain 7 or 8 years of experience with a certain institution or an organization that you're a part of. And you decide to move on to another institution because you claim that them stuck you over years upon 20 and you see where you value more than 20 an hour now. So 7 years ago, when you started in that institution, say they start you at minimum wage because then you don't have no experience, you don't have no subject, you don't have no degree, you don't have nothing to bring to the table. So therefore they start you at minimum wage because you don't have nothing to negotiate. But along the way, what happened? Got 7 years. They see that you're a good worker. You've been to work on time. You've been punctual. You pick up shift when there is shift. They now see that you're a very important person to their institution or their organization. Now, so they see it fit on a yearly basis to give you a raise. That raise that they gave to you over the 7-year period, now you're transformed from 15 now to 20. So it takes you 7 years to make that $20 there. That's what I mean? It takes you 7 years to make that $20 there. But before you even reach this, when you go look some work from some people, the first thing they might tell you say, you don't have no experience. But one would have to ask, how would you gain the experience if you don't given the opportunity? How would you gain that experience if everybody where you walk go to the look at job, them tell you say you don't have no experience, so therefore them can't hire you? But how would you gain that experience if you don't given the opportunity to do so? Because you have to work to gain that experience over a period of time. Don't. Yeah, man, a real thing. So when you spend 8, 9, 10 years in an institution and gain them experience, you cannot throw it away. You know why? That's the only leverage you have to negotiate. That's the only leverage you have to negotiate. And it's a 7, 8, or 9 year of experience. Because remember, you don't have degree, you don't have subject, you don't have masterate, and you don't have a doctorate. So therefore, you have to use your experience as leverage around the negotiation table. So anytime you start to negotiate with another institution, your leverage must be your experience that you're carrying from your past job. Because what one must think, you have to take to consideration all the sacrifice that you have made along the way. You have to take in consideration, all the sacrifice, that you have made along the way to gather these experience. Some late night, some early morning, work on some holiday, get no pay because them are people up here so they don't love work on holiday. You understand? You go to work 7 o'clock in the morning. You were supposed to leave 3 in the afternoon. You hear that somebody call out. Those who in the CNA field, they can relate to that. Somebody call out. You have to stay now from 3 to 11. When you're supposed to leave 11, the person who was supposed to release you 11 call out as well. Now you end up having to go and do a 24-hour shift. Knowing that, you did not make any preparation for that. You didn't carry any extra woman stuff in your pocketbook or your handbag or whatsoever. So now you have to run gone in a bathroom, go and use paper towel, whatsoever, to spruce up yourself to come down back. Because all this time, when you leave 7 in the morning, your expectation was that you was going to leave 3 in the evening. But that's not the case. Now you find yourself doing a 24-hour job. So you have to find ways and means how to go and clean up and titivate up yourself. So you have to take all of those sacrifice. Remember, sometime when you leave your yard, people asleep. When you go back in, people asleep. So the sacrifice that you make along the way, you cannot come over here and throw it away. You can't just come over here and throw it away. So the thing about it now, when you go to negotiate or you go to fill out an application, most of the time you're intimidated. You understand? You start thinking all kind of thing. Why? $20 may I get over here, so, but you go put down the same $20. You're afraid to put 25 or 30. How can you be afraid to put 25 or 30, knowing that when you start in your previous administration, they start you at minimum wage at 15 because you did not have the experience. You don't have subject, you don't have degree, you don't have math, you don't have nothing, so therefore you could not negotiate. So whatever they choose to give you, you have to just take it, and the experience that you gather, the 7, 8 year experience that you gather, now you have to use that to your benefit. Right? That is your tool around the bargain table right now. So you can't come throw away that I'm afraid to put down, say, boy, you value $30 an hour now. You cannot afraid, because the thing about it, you are showing that you are so desperate. Seeing that you can't walk away from 22 or 20. But remember, it takes you 7 years or 8 years to get to 20. So the experience that you gather along the way, that speak value for you now. You're using that experience now as your masterate, your degree, your doctorate, your subject. That's what you have. So you have to use it to your advantage. You can't just come over here and throw away 7, 8 years of experience. Because when you go around the negotiation table, seeing and the manager, whoever is negotiating with you and asking you, what are you bringing to the table? You can stand up and pump up your chest and say, well, I'm bringing 8.5 years of experience, or 9.5 years, or 9 or 10 years experience to your institution. So it simply means that you are precious commodity to their institution. You are bringing value to their institution. So therefore, why would you go into an interview and go and negotiate for less than what you really worth? What you are showing them that you are so desperate that you can't even walk away from $20 or $22. That's what you are telling them. You are so desperate that you cannot walk away from $22. That's what you're showing them, So what you do to yourself, you go into that interview, and what you do, you reduce and underestimate what you're really worth. You go into that interview and reduce and underestimate what you really worth. And if you do that, what you expect? Because listen, you have to stand for something. And if you don't stand for something, then you will fall for anything. Your 7 years or 8 or 9 years worth of experience, it's supposed to speak value for you. That's all you have. You don't have subject. You don't have degree. You don't have masterate. You don't have doctorate. I'm counting on my experience. The sacrifice that I made along the way. The early night. The late night. The early morning. The extra shift. Working for holidays. Some of them without pay. People call out. I end up having to do 24 hours. And me go and come over here in a new institution now and come throw away all of those experience. Me go and come throw away now all away those experience. What you worth? You must value yourself at least at 30 or at 25. So when you start to negotiate, they say, okay, we can pay you 25. You get an increase of $5. But if you come start at 20 while you're over there, so them all can pay you 18, what are you going to do? Because you come into the interview, can reduce and underestimate what you're really worth. Sometimes you just shoot yourself in the foot before you even start negotiate. Because fear, you don't want to put 30 or 35 pound farm because then go look on you and say too dear and then we call you. You don't reach there as yet. But you have to put something up there where you can negotiate when you reach to that stage. Your experience is your leverage around that negotiation table. You cannot take your experience for granted. A lot of night rest to gain that experience. A lot of double shift to gain that experience. Work for holidays, some of them without pay to gain that experience. Whole heap of ass kissing to gain that experience. And now, you're going to take all that experience and can throw it away. Remember now, you start at 15. And over the 7-8 years, you bump up to 20. You understand? Because what they say, you're valuable to their institution. You bring something now. You understand? You step up to the plate. We like what we see. You're going good. You understand? Pick up extra shift. Be a work on time. Be a good team player. We see all of those things in you. So we see it feasible to give you a raise every year. And after 7 or 8 years, you're at 20. And you're going to take all that experience that you gather over here for the past 7, 8 years. And they come start over here, so now for $22. Where is your value? What do you worth? So if you went go to school and get your masterate and your doctorate and your degree, I would have wasted of time because you would have gone use your degree and do the same thing over there, so you have to use your experience. I'm experience, I'm a degree. I'm experience, I'm a masterate. I'm experience, I'm a doctorate. I'm experience. I'm a subject them. Use your experience to your advantage because that's what you have. So you have to stand up for something. You understand? You have to stand up for something. You can't go in an interview. You're so desperate, hopeless. Your situation is so bad that you can't walk away from $122. Knowing that 7, 8 years ago, I gathered this experience through sacrifice. Right? And you're moving on and you come over here now. They can reduce or underestimate what you're really worth. Your experience is your leverage around the negotiation table. That's all you have. That's what you are depending on now. Remember, so when you don't have no experience, nobody no want to hire you because them a tell you don't have no experience and all of this. And at the end of the day, if you not give me the opportunity, how am I gonna gain that experience? So this is it. Use your experience as your leverage around the negotiation table. What are you bringing to our institution? 8 or 9 years of experience that speak volume of me. I'm precious commodity to your institution. The level of experience that I'm taking along with me to your institution. So you have to value yourself. Don't reduce or underestimate what you really worth. You have to stand up for something, else you will fall for anything. Much love and stay tuned to Aromatic Realistic TV and The Revolutionist. I'm out. Mad love.